G'day and welcome to Goodfellows Garden. Today I have a timeless pick a card reading for you, and the theme is a clue about your mission in life. Bit of a weird title, but this is what Spirit's given me, and I am simply a messenger for the divine. Here in one of these piles, you have a message for you and only you. There's no such thing as coincidence. You clicked on this video for a reason. So, feel into your heart space. Connect with the trees and the birds and the dogs outside, apparently, if you can hear them. And choose a pile that resonates or that's pulling your energy towards it. There might be more than one pile for you today, and that's cool too. And anytime you click on this video is the perfect time. So let's get stuck into it. G'day, pile number one, and welcome to your reading. Today we're looking at a clue for you about your mission in this life. The birds are going crazy outside right now, so don't know what that means, but we might find out soon. Your main card for today is well-being. It's got birds on it. Okay, then your second card is Belladonna Visions. Caution, guidance, clarity, stand firm. You have write a gratitude list, and you have awareness. I open my consciousness to my true self. I understand that I'm here to grow, to free myself from conflict, and to discover who I really am. Today I release illusion and the limitations of the material world in order to elevate my being towards the eternal light. I grow stronger and stronger as I explore the wonderful being that I am. What a mouthful. Alright, I'm going to adjust your cards and I'll be right back. Alrighty, Rooski Pile 1. So specific, dude. But the message that I'm getting loud and clear is that a clue for you about your mission in this life has something to do with the plant realm. Could be animals as well, but I'm mostly getting plants like botanicals? Like naturopathy, could also be conservation, like that could be where animals come into it. But there's something that I'm feeling about your ability to connect with the plant world, or their desire to connect with you, and for there to be some type of translation between you and them, that allows the plant world to communicate more clearly with the human world. Now, this message is so specific, it's making me feel like doubt about my channeling, but I'm just going to keep going anyway. I mean, if you clicked on this and it doesn't resonate, maybe try a different pile. But otherwise, just stick in here. We're going to go deep into this entirely specific clue. So I'm just going to channel a little bit about what I'm getting. So I'm getting this feeling about an ability to like break down or deconstruct or analyze the elements or aspects of plants and their properties, and to be able to simplify that for people so that they understand the spiritual usage of plants in a more everyday, simple way. So something I'm thinking about, for instance, would be like, I mean, I think this is such a realm that is still like, we just don't understand it from a spiritual point of view yet. But things like how an orange, right? It's like, not only is it orange colored, so there's something to do with like the light spectrum and like sound and the frequency of the color orange that like stimulates your sacral chakra when you eat it, when you look at it. That then there's like the freshness or the zest of an orange, and how that like subconsciously can instigate like a sense of aliveness or freshness in the person who's eating it or interacting with it. There's like the essence of the orange and like the way that you could use the essential oil for different healing purposes. And I think something like that, and as an example, would be the kind of translation that you may have the power to break down in your life, or that's a potential route for you. And there's something about your understanding of nature, the elements, plants, possibly animals, that is more connected and a simpler connection than most people have in this world. So that's something to pay attention to. This might also be an aspect to your healing if you're in the midst of your healing journey, perhaps communicating with trees, or engaging with like aromatherapy, learning about herbs, maybe Chinese medicine. There's something like that the plant realm would like to communicate with you, ultimately to have you relay that message to other people. But it can also just be for your own sense of healing. So don't ignore any like really random specific cravings or synchronicities that you get around like certain herbs. Like, like you might be seeing rosemary everywhere, and that's a hint for you to like drink rosemary tea or do something with rosemary. That's an example. Careful with plant medicine. Check that you're not like abusing your connection to plant medicine, and instead make sure that you're connecting from like the human sensory realm. Like maybe if you find yourself kind of like in a cycle of using or engaging with plant medicine in order to reach the divine, there's a message around like that's kind of the easy way, and like your desire to do that comes from your desire to connect with the plant realm. But instead you should see what you can do like in a tactile way from where you are, like in this time space dimension right now. So specific. I hope this resonates for somebody. Rose, I'm being, yeah, there's also like a message around the subtlety, like engaging and tapping into the subtlety of the elements and of different plants, or what else do you call them? I'm just going to say different plants for now, or different herbs, or different spices. I don't know. This is such a funny message, but it's making me think about rose water and how you can, if you have like skin problems, you can scrub your face heavily with all sorts of chemicals, and you can go and get chemical peels, and you can get really annoyed about the state of your skin. Like, this just feels like a message from me. Like if you get breakouts, but you could take a totally different approach that is like an internal self-loving approach where you spray rose water on your face, which is like such a delicate substance that you would think it's not doing anything. But if you're using that essence, that's the word I was looking for, essence, inside of a routine that's already like dedicated to self-love and nurture, then you really allow the essence of the rose water to do what it does. And you wouldn't notice that if you were like engaged in a really stressful, fast-paced lifestyle. Like it makes me think about tea as well. Like prior to my, I suppose, awakening, I definitely thought that tea was bullshit. And I thought like I'd rather like smash out 3 coffees in a day, or take a Panadol, or you know what I mean, like chemical quick solutions to like heal my pain in the immediate moment. But then I became interested in Chinese medicine, and I learned and discovered that teas are so fucking potent and like powerful, and they like blitz through your entire system. Like things like ashwagandha for your period, or like ginseng um are like so potent botanicals. And there's something about that, whether that's just like, yeah, awareness, like starting to recognize where in your life you're kind of letting yourself be swamped by the fast paced, material, technological world, maybe your job, maybe it's time for you to start listening to what you're putting into your body. If you're um, eating a lot of weird foods that you know your body doesn't agree with, or like smoking, again, I get the message that like if you're smoking a lot, like tobacco, even like good organic tobacco, it feels like that is some kind of subconscious desire to connect to the plant realm again. Same with smoking weed. So that's super interesting. um is there anything else that wants to come through here? That could also be teaching people about diet, like through your own journey of learning how to nourish your body in a more subtle way. I think that idea is so overwhelming for so many people, like the organic lifestyle, or the idea of like eating healthy. Like it makes me think of the Happy Pair, these twins, these brothers on YouTube who are vegan dudes. Um, I'm not necessarily condoning that lifestyle. I don't. Anyway, this isn't about veganism, but they're like super healthy, like crazy happy healthy guys. And whenever I watch their videos, I just think like, fuck, that's an effort. But they're like so in the lifestyle, and they've got all their herbs and spices, and like all the ingredients are ready to go for them to engage in that lifestyle. And so like they make it easy for them and for people like them. But I think like for you, your journey could have something to do with like simplifying even more deeply for people, like so they understand like what is actually happening to me when I eat an apple. Not like fiber and like vitamin C. I mean like on a spiritual level, like what is the frequency? What is the chakra? Um what's the what's the word I'm looking for? The oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Like the in Chinese medicine they call it like the composition, maybe. I think the composition, like what is the composition of this fruit? And if we were to like break down the diet, like how could we make like happy eating, like for a happy inside body, how could we make that better? So I think like naturopathy, herbology, um like just plants, that's all I'm getting for this group. And I think that's the end of your reading. I really hope this resonated for someone. It's making me laugh because it's just so specific, man. It's just such a little specific thing. So I'm very excited to hear if this is you and you know it's you. Please leave a comment. Let me know a little bit about your story. Thank you so much for stumbling upon my garden. I hope you enjoy and you keep watching. I offer private readings, short ones, long ones, channeled artworks, and I have a meditation club all on my website, which you can check out in the description, as well as the cards that I was using. So thank you so much, pile number one, for stopping by. This has been Goodfellows Garden. See you next time. Hi, pile number two. Welcome to the garden. Today we're looking at a clue about your mission in this life. I'm excited for this one. The first pile was so specific, so we'll see if it continues this way. So your first card is telekinesis, influence, willpower, control, and obstacles. Your second card is adoration. Your third card is plan a vacation. And your fourth card is application. Today I apply all that I've learned during my spiritual quest. I practice love in my daily life. I allow my inner light to lift my thoughts. As I do so, the laws of universal love take root in my life. All right, I'm going to rearrange and have a sit with this. Alrighty, so firstly, a little side note. I tend to channel in a more symbolic, or like I follow the colors and the images rather than the tarot when I'm doing my reading. So just so you know that. The first thing that comes up for me is something about, well, this could be specific, but maybe helping people through addiction. I'm seeing you supporting people with breaking through the layers of existence to find something deeper and more meaningful than what we see on the surface, like piercing or penetrating through the origin of addiction. I'm just going to use addiction as the example here. Stick around, it like this might apply to something else, but I'm going to go with that specifically. The feeling I get is that people, this is similar to part one in a sense that it's about deepening people's connection with what is right in front of them and the truth of their existence. It's like, if you're addicted to a substance, it's not because of the substance itself, and it's not, well, this might be a inflammatory thing to say, but from a spiritual perspective, it's generally not a genetic situation. It has more to do with your conditioning in your childhood, and then you could go way deeper multidimensionally and say that it's past lives, or and then you could call that genetic. But what I mean to say is that someone trying to tear themselves away from addiction is a lot easier if they have a spiritual alternative to put in place of that substance that they're addicted to. And so by navigating or showing people deeper into the layers of their consciousness, of their awareness, and of their sense of connection to the earth, themselves, and other people, you're able to support them and strip them of the necessity for that connection that they're seeking, because any addiction is just a desire for love and connection. So that's the first thing I'm getting. There's something, when I see the layers here, I think about like hypnotherapy, or even like light therapy, like using like something to do with like the brain waves and like penetrating like the theta state and the different, I don't know much about that stuff, but like layers of the psyche, or layers of the consciousness, layers of the brain. Maybe you're a bit of a scientific person and you like to learn about, that could also be like the emotional body and the subtle bodies, all the different meridians, or it could even be the realms, like the dimensions, and the ability to lucid dream or astral project through those different, like something about like I can see you like gaining a specialty in a particular arena or talent that involves maybe a kind of like specific knowledge of different realms or layers to support this, like maybe some kind of quantum wizardry. What else? Yeah, I'm getting this energy of like almost a bit of tough love. Like I'm feeling this like give and take, and the pull of a person who's in a cycle, any kind of cycle. It can be an addiction to negative thinking or depression, like but I'm feeling quite like heavy heavy addictions where the person is yearning or begging or pulling on the systems around them or the practitioner, or like just begging for more, or struggling with this swinging between, like, this could be a kind of like jump between, when someone is just starting to enter their spiritual quest and they're struggling to let go of their past world, but they know there's something more. It can be that kind of thing, like people who are just leaving like the world of talk therapy and entering like and having an interest in like sound therapy or stuff like that. It's those kind of people, and I can see you just being like, stop, like really firm, really sudden, like just cutting like a knife right through the center of that whole process of like swinging back and forth between the two worlds. There's something about what you will do in your life that cuts through that process and fast tracks that pain for people. Oh, sorry, I don't mean fast tracking pain, you know what I mean? Fast tracking the recovery for people. That's really like dynamic and like cutthroat in a way. It feels a bit savage, but I think that's just an energetic savagery that's like enough, and you show them something else and you're like, here's what life is all about. Something about like journeying through, maybe this is a journey inside of their inner world and their deeper world. Like this could be like a journey into plant medicines or like things like ketamine therapy, learning how, maybe like talk therapy that's paired with like a substance under supervision, or some kind of like light machine or sound therapy. It's kind of like, a form of healing or a retreat or a therapy that is like paired with some kind of, I don't want to say technology. I'll call it technology, but I don't mean like electronics and stuff. I mean just like quantum technology. It can be a natural technology as well. And there's something practical about it. You're like providing some kind of solution for people that is tangible and real, and there's clear steps, and it helps in that limbo in the process of some kind of addiction or mental health journey. Is that all? Yeah, I think that's all for you guys. Again, a very specific pile number 2. I hope this resonates. Please let me know if it does. I'd love to hear a little bit about your story and what this pile means to you. It's quite interesting. And what a great element of your mission. So specific. Thank you for stopping by the garden. If you liked this reading, I do private readings on my website. You can also get a channeled painting by me. And that's all. Please subscribe, like and share. Make a comment. Come back again. This has been Goodfellows Garden. Thanks for stopping. Hey, pile number 3. Welcome to the garden. Today we're looking at a clue about your mission in this life. So the first card we have here is Beyond Limitations. Today I exceed my own expectations. I open my consciousness to the infinite. There are no limitations. There is no end. Everything is unfolding in a continuous now. Therefore, I open my thoughts towards a broader horizon. I look beyond my perception of reality, beyond all barriers created from my own beliefs and fears. I am now open to new possibilities. Then you have the Love card. Movement and ancestors. Survival, family, death, and worship. Alright, I'm going to rearrange and feel into this. Alrighty, pile 3. Again, a very specific reading I have here. So the first 2 piles were mega uber specific, and I'm just going to keep rolling with that because clearly this is like for someone really unique and I'm totally down to be the messenger for that. So I'm just going to go with what I channel. It kind of makes me laugh. Just the specificity makes me laugh. But so for this pile, what I'm seeing is like a doof with intention. So here in Australia, we have something called doofing, which is like, you go out into the bush. Sometimes you call it a bush doof. Could also be considered a rave, like listening to psytrance and like dancing through the night in the bush, like in the dirt, on heaps of drugs. And like it's kind of this weird cusp between spirituality and just like drug taking. And it'll be like a lot of loosey goosey teenage dudes, plus like sometimes like like hippie families. I think you get the picture. So like a festival is what I'm seeing. But what I'm seeing for you is that a part of your mission, if you choose to take it, it's a possible path for you, is that you may engage with a kind of organization of an event or a festival in which people are able to connect on a really deep, real level, and not in any kind of facade, because I think there's a lot of that in the spiritual community. I'm trying not to like get my own opinion mixed in here, but the sense I get is that like this could be an event that people listen to music and they dance and they connect to the cosmos, but there's also like some real work to be done there, and deep inner, serious inner work that maybe has a bit of an intention to like heal the land we're on, or speak to the environment, or I'm getting a feeling of like Aztec, almost like going back to those times and collective technologies where people could manipulate the weather by dancing, or healing a river. Like, yeah, I can see there being sort of like people that channel this idea or this realization that a certain part of some land needs healing or support, and so all these people come together and they have a good time, but they're also there to connect to their own ancestors, heal very particular wounds from their past. I'm seeing this being like a very specific thing. Like, yeah, when I look into this, it's like everything is laid out and almost the people are categorized by their, I don't want to say like by their wounding, but that's the first thing that comes to my mind. It's like people that are there to heal the feminine, people that are there to like emancipate themselves from sexual violence in their history, like very deep, intense, specific stuff that has specific grouping for different people, or at the very least a very specific purpose for everyone to be there and connect. This could be in the context of like an event where people go to a certain place and gather together. Like I'm thinking like indigenous corroboree feeling, if you're in Australia. Otherwise it's like in the setting of like a house or a retreat, and it's like the people are connecting to the cosmos rather than the land they're on. Yeah, like when I look at this girl, it feels like she's in the midst of like really, really intentional, like almost like a game of Operation. If you've ever played that board game, I guess it's a board game. It's like she's playing a game of Operation in her own like quantum or auric field, where she's like, and she's like snaking her way through a very specific intention, specific goal. This could be like sound healing on a group of people that is like maybe particular artists come to play on a stage, but they come with the intention to play at like a particular frequency, or like to resolve issues of the root chakra. Like, this is a cool idea, right? I like this. Yeah, there's like, I'm really feeling like the specificity of the categories of this particular like event or musical healing or dance healing or circle, like a healing circle. And I just keep hearing love is the drug for me. So it could be also offering people that alternative to, like, it could be like a drug-free event, you know, that's cool and not lame, where it's like we all commit to not taking substances at this thing. Is there anything else? Something about generations once come through, like generational. Oh yeah, this could also involve family constellations. Like this could be a family constellations themed event. If you haven't heard of that, look it up. It's so dope. It's like a kind of gestalt therapy or like parts work that involves a group of people where you all play different characters in each other's lives. Kind of hard to explain, but I'm thinking about family constellations and like resolving generational trauma, like ancestral wounding, in a way that is fun and cool. Possibly in a way that isn't so heavy, because I think those type of events can have a real like weight to them, and you feel potentially drained after leaving, which is great. Like you've done all this hard work and we all arrive and we're like all in tears the whole time. But this is kind of like, I'm feeling like it has some breath to it, and in a way that like the whole day is arranged around this particular healing, but it's structured so that people can cope with the amount, and people can like really connect and have fun and share. And it's maybe giving a bit of a message of like healing is fun, you know, like healing can be a party almost. That's the vibe. Like love is the drug. It's like, yeah, this message that healing doesn't have to be, wow, this is like, I'm getting emotional. I can feel like this is a very it's a very weighty purpose. Like showing to people that the world of healing isn't like this slog or this challenge and this hard, arduous work or like something you have to plan for and prepare for. It's like, no, we can come together and we can have a great time and we can celebrate and dance and be super human together, but also we're doing deep work. Wowee. Epic stuff, Part 3. It makes me like, is this for me? You know, like, am I a genius? Like, have I just pioneered an idea? Anyway, hopefully this like sparks some excitement in you. I'd love to hear if this resonated for you. Please make a comment below. What an awesome reading. I feel inspired. Man, I feel inspired for my own self here. I think this passed for me as well. I'm gonna take some of those ideas. Yeah, thanks for stopping by the garden. This is the end of the reading for you guys, part number 3. If you liked this, I offer private readings. They're on my website, channel paintings as well. Please like, share, subscribe. It really helps my channel to grow and spread the message of love to as many people as possible. So thank you so much. This has been my guide, and see you again next time. Ooh. Hello, pile number 4. Welcome to my guide, and today we're looking at a clue to support you in your mission in this life. It's getting dark outside now, so I got the lights on, but it's kind of cool. Makes everything sparkly. So let's get into it. Your first card says beauty ritual. Oh, let's try again. Hey, pile number 4, welcome to my garden. Today we're looking at a clue for you about your mission in this life. All the piles so far have been so specific, and it's been really fun and cool, so I'm keen to get into the final pile here. Today you have the card Beauty Ritual as your main card. Then you have songbirds. It says hexbreaker, sound healing, final goodbye, and release. Then I have I am light. Today the light is within me. The light surrounds me. The light protects me. I remain light-filled and joyful regardless of what circumstances arise. I'm a diamond shining forth in all my splendor. I am worthy of the divine within me. And then finally, we have the card flow. So I'm just going to sit with your cards for a second. For this part, I'm going to pull a couple more cards. I've got a loose idea here. This has something to do with femininity and also to do with childhood, but I'm just trying to gather whether this is about working with children or working with women in a way that supports their inner child, but it's a very specific thing. It's about like the inner child girl, like the feminine aspect. Is there anything else that wants to come through here? Alrighty, pile 4. I'm starting to get a clue about what this is, but I'm just going to kind of channel and blurt out whatever's coming to mind to get that out of the way first. So, the first things I'm feeling is that this has something to do with either a rite of passage for teenage girls, like the element of, like how I think in America they have something called a debutante ball. Forgive me if I'm mistaken, that could be totally wrong, but it's something about like bringing back the ritual of moving from the inner girl to the inner woman. And this is very much about feminine energy. However, I do gather that there's some element about this that is about healing the wounding around the masculine and trusting and learning to trust the masculine. So if you are a man, keep listening. This might have something to do with it. But generally I get a sense that this is about supporting women specifically to heal the feminine in a way that is very pure and relates to the innocence of youth, or the innocence of the inner child or childhood in general. So this isn't exactly about like healing childhood trauma. That's not what I'm getting. This is more about connecting women to their sense of innocence and purity in a way that doesn't denigrate men and that isn't like anti-patriarchy. Because I think that kind of thing, there's like a real emphasis in the spiritual community on like empowering women in a way that starts to bleed into disempowering men. And if that's something that you're passionate about, or it might be something that you have noticed happening. And there's something here about like a very puritanical, is that the word? Way of releasing that perspective and coming into a deeper sense of wisdom that engages like the fun and the freedom and the lightness of the inner girl. So like supporting women in a way that like this could involve some kind of like craft or like a beauty ritual or something that you do in a group of women together. Or it could even be the delivery of a service such as, like manicures or like I don't know what other ones are there, like waxing and stuff, like feminine beauty rituals, anything in that space, but it has like a depth to it that allows women to feel really comfortable and safe to express their pure, like something really pure about them, which is lightness and joy and feminine flow, like in a very, very safe, protected way. And I get that that's more, like that's less about having a safe space, like in order to like tackle trauma and stuff like that, like it's less about having a supportive group of women where everything is allowed and we can cry and grieve and stuff. It's not that. It's like a lighter type of thing that's more about the safety to feel like you're not self-conscious. I think it's like the ability to do some kind of activity that would generally feel weird or embarrassing if you were being watched, but because of the environment that you're setting up for these people or this person, they're able to express a kind of lightness or innocence that allows them to create and to have fun and be free. And so this is something joyful and something light. Don't think heavy healing like the last pile. This is more about like being in the now. It's like some kind of activity that engages with the now and engages with like creativity and flow and fun. And it's not about the past, this one. This isn't about healing inner child wounds. It's about engaging with the inner child that is already healed and that's in there and that wants to express, and giving people the comfort, a space of comfort where they can do that. And like ultimately or inadvertently, that's a hex breaker, that releases the feminine from this burden of what we carry in society or in our past and our generational or ancestral wounding, and that will also ultimately support the masculine to be who they are and to be able to hold and carry us as real like warrior men. So maybe that's something like later down the track that men are involved in some kind of way, but there's an essence that is like looming in the background, that kind of messaging about like we trust men and we thank men for being involved with or for healing themselves, like I was recently at a group therapy, family constellations actually, which I mentioned in pile 3, where at the end of the workshop, all the practitioners got all of the men in the room to stand up because there was an impressive group of men. It was pretty much an equal divide between men and women, which you don't often see in the healing space. Like oftentimes it is just women. But all of these men had come to like heal their families and their generational wounding and stuff. And so there was a moment where they all stood up and the women applauded them. And it was so beautiful and awesome. And I think there's like a piece of that in there that is like a graciousness that acknowledges that we can't be women without our men, That's not to say, obviously, you know what I'm saying. So I think that's all. There's just a feeling of like supporting women in their ability to flourish. So helping them to create in a really supported, comfortable way. I wonder how. I think the how is for you to find out. This is only a clue. That's what Spirit's saying. So I think that's the end. That's the end pile number. Yeah. There's like, look at this. Like something about freeing the burdened feminine, and that requires first the trust in men or the masculine. Somehow, that seems like it's quite a riddle. This one was the most clue of all the piles, but I hope that this helps you take a step closer towards your purpose. Pile number 4. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you gleaned something cool from this. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. I also offer private private readings, and they're on my website as well. But thank you so much for stopping by my garden. See you next time. Bye.